So I just finished watching Ordinary Angels, directed by Jon Gunn, starring Hilary Swank and Alan Ritchson. And this is based on a true story that when you think about it and when you think about the trajectory of this story as a whole, it's an absolute miracle. We follow a struggling hairdresser, played here by Hilary Swank, who finds a renewed sense of purpose. This is a woman who has gone deep down the rabbit hole of alcohol, but when she meets a widowed father, played by Alan Ritchson, working hard to care for his two daughters, with his youngest being critically ill in need of a liver transplant, this hairdresser single-handedly rallies an entire community to help them out. And it's like, it just kind of goes to show you that one single act of random kindness can really change somebody's life. And I feel like there's a good amount of people who will leave Ordinary Angels feeling inspired. And I can't lie, I don't want to say I left this film with a renewed sense of purpose or anything like that, but it definitely inspired me, guys. It'll also kind of trigger the waterworks, so if you're sensitive to that sort of thing, if you're sensitive to true stories like this, I don't want to say Ordinary Angels made me ugly cry like the Iron Claw did. I don't want to give anything away in regards to how this story pans out, but I kind of saw the writing on the wall just judging from the trailer, and I was like, I think the people in this situation will wind up okay. But man, they had you clutching at straws, because I wasn't familiar with the story. I didn't know anything that was going on, really. This was all new to me. And I think with how this movie is laid out and how they tell you this story, darn, this is an emotional roller coaster, man. And Hilary Swank seems to really enjoy starring in these emotional roller coasters. I can also think of the $1 Million Baby off the top of my head, which honestly, like, okay, I'm not going to think about $1 Million Baby right now because, yeah, that'll really trigger some tears. But Hilary Swank is no pushover in this movie. She is fantastic. I can honestly sit here and argue that this may be her best work since $1 Million Baby, which came out 20 years ago. This is someone who has to conquer her own demons, if you will. And how she does that is helping other people. This is like one of the most selfless people that you'll ever meet in a movie. And I really think Swank pulls it off super well. You know who really impressed me in this movie, though, is Alan Ritchson. Yes, he is known for playing Jack Reacher on Amazon Prime. Yes, he is an action hero. Yes, he is a hulking individual, an absolute giant of a man. But I am so happy to say that he gets to pull off a bunch of dramatic chops in here that he doesn't usually get to use. And he is fantastic in this movie. You just want to reach out and give this guy a hug with all he's been through. Now, I am not a father myself, but I feel like if I were to watch this movie down the line later in life as a father, like, it might resonate with me a little bit more, because the stuff that he has to kind of teach these girls and the things that he has to kind of come to grips with these two young girls, while one of these girls is already knocking on death's door, like, you can't even wrap your head around how difficult that must be. And I gotta tell you, man, I've seen a lot of tough guys in movies. I've watched a lot of action movies. Nobody is stronger, braver, or tougher than this little girl. And man, this little actress is just so freaking adorable too. Like, my God. Like, in all honesty, I can't really think of a ton of things that were wrong with this movie. It might have felt a little bit long in the grand scheme of things. There were a couple things that I feel like could have been trimmed down. And there were a couple of little editing techniques here and there that I wasn't really the biggest fan of. Like, Jon Gunn really enjoyed utilizing a lot of blurred vision in the cinematography, and I get what they were going for there, but I don't know, there were a couple of cases where it kind of snapped me out of it. Like, it became a bit too distracting in the grand scheme of things. But clearly the effort is there, the inspiration is there, the performances are there. I think Ordinary Angels is definitely something that will leave you with a whole bunch of used Kleenex on your theater floor. Your grandparents will probably adore this movie. I've seen people compare this to The Blind Side, which came out quite some time ago when I was really into football and all that. I don't know if that's a fair comparison, in all honesty, because The Blind Side is a very different story. Yes, it is about this very strong-willed woman who is really trying her hardest to be as generous as she can be to someone who needs the help the most. But I feel like, tonally speaking, Ordinary Angels is a very different situation. And I feel like this movie will take you on a bit more of an emotional roller coaster than The Blind Side did. So I don't know if that's necessarily a fair comparison there. Heck, maybe you'll see that comparison more than I did if you go and see this movie, but I definitely recommend it checking out at least once. If you're a parent, this one I feel like will resonate with you way more. I'm gonna give Ordinary Angels an A-. Definitely a very pleasant surprise and Hilary Swank's best performance in a long time. Maybe Alan Ritchson's best performance. I don't know if I can full out say that yet. But let me know if you saw Ordinary Angels down in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of it. And what is your favorite based on a true story movie? What is the one that left you the most inspired? I love what I do here, guys. Talking all things movies and entertainment with you guys brings me such great joy. If you stumbled upon this channel for the first time, y'all are invited to join us. Do consider becoming a subscriber today. Tap on that thumbs up as well if you want to see more, because we got an abundance of content coming out as March gets kickstarted, as business really starts to pick up. We got Dune Part 2 coming out in theaters this weekend. I can't wait to check that out and review it for you guys. And I'm going to be wrapping up my Kung Fu Panda series as Kung Fu Panda 4 releases the weekend after. Lots that we can discuss and so much more, guys. So thank you so much for continuing to support this channel. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.